Okay, how to make a print test strip and an enlarged print. So this kind of test strip is going to be slightly different than the contact sheet simple test strip, okay? So how do we do this? What do you need first? All right, so here we are at our enlarger. You've got your timer. It's still set what it was from before from your test strip. That's fine. We're going to move forward with it. All right, what you first need is you need to bring back an easel. So the easels you get in the front of the classroom space in the closet, and you get that checked out. And you can see that one side of this easel has an 8 by 10 opening, and the other side has, I think it's a 2 by 3, a 4 by 6, and a 5 by 7. So you want to use this one, the 5 by 7. So you're going to bring this out with you, and I'll show you how this works in 1 second. And you want your film. Okay, so when you looked at your contact sheet, you should have picked out what picture you wanted to print. So here I have my negatives of the one that I actually want to print. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna get this, which is probably off to the side if no one else was printing yet, if they were making a contact sheet. This is your negative carrier. You can see one side has a raised ring on it here, and the other side is flat. And if I open this up, is where you're going to put your film on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put my film shiny side up. Notice you have a shiny side and a dull side. Your dull side is your emulsion side. That's the side that scratches really easily, so be careful. All right, shiny side up and upside down, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So I'm going to put my film here, and I'm going to try to line it up so that no part of my negative gets cut off. And now listen to this sound. You hear that little snap? That's my film going below this little silver notch here. Okay, so you want your film to be pressed down underneath those little notches. And then center it so nothing's getting cut off. And then you're going to close it. Okay, pinch it pretty tight, and then you're going to come up here and you're going to put it in this space, but you're not going to just shove it in there. Oh, no, no, no. First, what you need to do is you're going to come over here to the left, and you're going to raise, you see, you're going to raise that open. Make sure your light is off when you do this. If you open up your negative carrier with your light on, that light is going to shoot across the room like a laser, and people are going to yell at you. So make sure that your light is off when you open up this negative carrier. Then you're going to take your negative and you're going to slide it in here. Now listen for this sound. You feel that or see that or hear that? It slides down in there. That raised ridge on the bottom fits into the hole that's in there. So like that, and then keep this part, your handle, sticking straight out, okay? And then I'm going to close this. Don't forget to close that. Make sure it's snug all the way around because you don't want that light leaking out. So your negatives are going to stick out the side, and that's okay. All right. What you don't want is you don't want to have a small little negative. It's very hard to do it that way. It's much better to have at least a strip of 5 within that negative carrier. So now my negative is in there, and now I have my enlarger here. And now I'm going to go ahead and see if I can see this in the light. I know that I want a 5 by 7 for this first assignment that we're doing. So I'm going to put it on focus mode. And my light is going to shine. It's shining here, but I cannot see it in the light. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this real quick, and I'm going to go turn the lights off so you can see how this shines down onto the easel. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So what I've got here is the light is shining. I didn't change anything on my enlarger. And you can see that I can see something there, but it is really out of focus, and it's definitely bigger than my enlarger. So the first thing I want to do is I want to come over here on this side of my enlarger, and I'm going to actually spin this knob It's the one that's down here. It's parallel with your aperture here. All right, this is your focus knob. So watch what happens when I start to spin this. You see that? It comes into focus. But look how big it is. It's humongous. It's definitely not just this 5x7. So what do I need to do next? I need to lower my enlarger. So I'm going to turn this key right here, loosen it up. And some of them you have to hold that while you're cranking it down so it doesn't crash down, because some of them go really fast. So be careful when you're cranking this down. And I'm just going to bring this down and look at what's happening. You see my picture? It's making crazy noises. So my picture is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And now I need to focus again. Okay, so now it's in pretty good focus. And now I can see here, so if I move this enlarger, easel out of the way, you can see there's the picture, right? If I put this easel, you can figure out which way works best for you, having it up this way or flipping it over. I like it this way. And you want to look for the edges. Now, if I open this up, you can see there's the picture. That's how much I'm going to be cropping off the edges. That's quite a bit. Look at this edge of this. It comes all the way down to here. See that? That's too much cropping. So I'm going to bring it down a little lower. Jeez. And focus it again. And now I'm going to look. How much am I cropping off here with this enlarger? Not very much at all. And in fact, over here, you can see there's a little black line where there's like a gap. So you can't have that. So you need to make sure you pull your easel around so that you don't have any negative space. And look at all this negative space I have at the bottom. So this is not going to work no matter what. It's too small now. So I need to raise it back up, focus it. Because the focusing changes the size as well. So, and I'm basically just trying to move this enlarger around this easel around so that I get my whole picture, no negative space, and as little cropping as possible. Okay, that is pretty good. All right, so now there it is. It's in there. Sometimes this thing is so low that you can't even open this up all the way, but you should be okay with a 5x7. So now I've got this in as a 5x7. It's focused as best I can possibly tell that it is focused. If you need to at this point, you can use a loop, a focus scope or a loop, and you can try to see if you can see the grain in here and see if it's focused. But if you just do it by eye like this, you should be okay. See how it's blurry? And then it comes. My tip to you when you're focusing is go all the way blurry one way and go all the way blurry the other way, and then find that happy in between place where it is in focus. If you try just creeping up every once in a while, it takes too long. So just all the way one way, all the way the other way, and then you go back and forth until you get to that perfect spot, the sweet spot where it's in focus, okay? So now I have this, I have the right height, my negative is in here. You can see if you move your negative around, you can straighten your negative out a little bit with moving around this little negative carrier, but I'd rather you move your easel around, honestly, because you don't want to scratch your negative. You could do that. All right, I still have 15 seconds over here, and the next thing I need to do is I'm going to turn off my enlarger, and I need to figure out how big of a piece of paper I'm going to put here, because it's going to be a 5x7. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of photo paper that is a full size, 8.5 or 8x10, and I'm going to take this over to the cutting board over here, and I'm going to cut it in half. So I have a little spot here marked for 5x7s. So as long as you use this back bar and you put your paper on that 5x7 mark, then when you cut, I need to hold it with my hand, sorry. But when you cut, you should get 2 pieces. And this will allow you to get 2 5x7s out of 1 piece. And now, if I open up my easel here, don't move it when you open it, you're gonna see these little notches here. And there's a whole bunch of them because they all align with the different openings. And we want to put this one in these 4 notches. So I'm just going to snug this down and to the left. And then I'm going to close my enlarger, and that works. Now there's a little paper sticking out the side. I can trim that up later after I make the print, okay? So make sure you have your 2 papers of 5x7, cut those in half so you're ready to go with that. And now what we want to do is we don't want to waste these big 5x7 papers. We are going to make a test strip first so that we know what our right time is, okay? Now, before we do that, we also need to figure out what filter to use. Now, I would highly suggest that you're going to get this, everybody's going to get this kit, that you start with the 1.5, and then after you make that test strip, you may need to go up higher. Most people do need a 2.5 or a 3 or a 3.5 filter. So let's just start with a 1.5 and see what happens. I'm gonna put a 1.5 in here. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out that test strip that I had. I'll have to grab my test strip paper, sorry. My test strip paper. And I'm gonna lay it across my 5x7 spot. If you want to, you can open your easel, put that in there and close it down so it holds it steady. Okay, now what you're gonna need is over here, you need a board. That's what these boards are for. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make a more detailed test strip. So it's not just one test strip with one time and that's it. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're going to turn our enlarger down so that it is at, I'm going to say same thing, maybe F11 or F8. So I know F8 is 3 notches up. So I'm going to do that. Okay. And then I'm going to set my time at 3 seconds. Why 3 seconds, you might say? Okay, so I set it at 3 here and I made my decimal point be there. You don't want 30 seconds, you want 3. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this board and I'm going to make sections of 3 seconds. So I'm gonna expose this. So I'm gonna go ahead and push. You can see here I have my board and I'm putting it over all of the test strip paper except for just this little part up here. But you need enough to see what you're doing. So actually, I'm gonna go this way. Because depending on your negative, right? My negative is a solid image going all the way across. So I think I can do this. If you're looking at like a sky versus ground, you also would want to go this way. Because if you expose for the sky, by the time you get down to the ground on this one, it'd be weird, right? So maybe we go this way on all of them. So I'm going to start here. Okay? 3 seconds. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, I'm going to move it a little bit over to the right, and I'm going to go another 3 seconds. And I'm going to move it a little bit more to the right. Hold on, I'm going to get my timer out of the way. A little bit more to the right. Okay, I want to make sure it doesn't fall. Normally, you'd have 2 hands doing this. That's 3 times so far, right? And then one more time. I might be able to get 5 exposures out of this. So I'll move it over to the right. Oopsie, it's slipping. And we're gonna do one more time. And one more where I take it off all the way and do 3 more seconds. Now think about it. What did we just do? We exposed this side of the paper the least and this side of the paper the most, because when we had this on here, we went 3 seconds, but then when we moved it, we went another 3 seconds. So this part's now getting double that, right? So that's getting 6 and this is getting 3. I move it again and now I've got triple. So it's 9, 6, 3. So by the time I get done, I did 5 across. My first one is 3, because that's all that one, when I had it all the way open, this section here only got 3 seconds. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12. maybe 15, depending on how many I did here. Then you take this out, okay, and you run it through your chemicals, same as always, and what you'll see is an image that is separated and is different times. Each part is going to get a little bit darker. And so you're going to write on the back of this, before or after, if you get it dry and you want to write after, but I would write it before. You're going to write 3 seconds, F8, 1.5 filter, and your name. Then you're going to run it through the chemicals, okay? That way you can then look at it and you can go, oh, so you're going to have an image. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, now this one is from a photogram, but it's going to look something like this, where you're going to see, actually in our case it would be like this. So if this was done with 3 seconds, it'd be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 seconds total. So we would know, like with this one, we can say, this isn't even dark enough at all. It's still not dark enough for what we need. So what I would do is I would open up my aperture and do another one. And then what you do is you bring this out into the light and you look at your times and you decide which one has a good black and a good white and a good grayscale in between. Now, if you feel like it's flat no matter what, you probably need to raise your filter. So here you had a 1.5 filter. So you can go back to here, your filters, and you can go up to a 2.5 filter and then do it again. And also open up because it's not dark enough and not contrasty enough. So you might need to, you know, open up your enlarger and do another test strip. So never, ever, ever use a full piece of paper until you are sure that you have a test strip that came out right, okay? That's the point of a test strip, is to save you from wasting paper, okay? So then let's pretend we've got the perfect test strip. We know how much time we want to do. Let's say we wanted to do 9 seconds and we wanted to have it at F8, okay? And we know that's just right for us, okay? And at a 2.5 filter. So put a 2.5 filter in there, right? Now, if your time over here is anything less than 3 seconds, I would say open up your stop again, one more brighter, and do it again, do another test strip, because anything below 3 seconds on your timer is too quick to get a good, accurate print. So if your time is 3 seconds or lower, open up your aperture and do another test strip. Okay, I'm gonna pretend like mine is 9 seconds. So I'm gonna open up my enlarger, and maybe I double check first to make sure nothing has moved, you know what I mean? And then I'm gonna open up my enlarger. I'm gonna take my paper that I cut in half, one piece out at a time. Remember, keep everything else in the box. All right, and I'm gonna take my corner and I'm going to press it up into this area. So it's these two on the bottom and these two on the top. Make sure it's snug in there. Close my enlarger. Expose it for 90 seconds, or 9 seconds, sorry, and run it through your paper, your chemicals. All right, that is how you make a print, okay? So the biggest part about making a print really is your test strip. You wanna make sure you make that good test strip first and figure out what you're looking for in a good print, okay? If you're doing an 8x10, same thing, flip it over. You could go this way as well if it's a horizontal or a vertical, right? And same thing, you're gonna be lifting this up and you're gonna be making your paper go into these corners snug on both sides and closing. Oops, see that, what I did? I didn't have it right and I would have had a weird cockeyed print. So make sure it's straight, close it. Make sure it didn't move like mine just did in the middle, because watch, if that moved and then you go to print, the picture's up here. So make sure that you have it aligned and the height right and all that good stuff before you take your paper out. All right. Last but not least, write down your times. Make sure that you have everything set and everything is good before you close up shop. Good luck. Have fun. Wonderful printing.